Hello and welcome to the Yerky Boys. May the Kandrona shine and strengthen you. My name is Will.
My name is Jonathan.
And we are the Yerky Boys. Yeah. This is a special Christmas holiday ho seasonal episode today.
Wow, it's Christmas Eve, and this is your one present you get to open early.
Wow. I never did that.
I don't know if I think I might have done that sometimes.
Because I have patience, I can wait.
Well, you're a doctor. You had things to do that night. That's what you're trying to say. You had patience.
Yeah. We're feeling jolly today, folks. We're feeling good. We're happy. We're hoeing.
Oh yeah, always happy, always hoeing. Holly and jolly. And today, what are we talking about?
Well, today we are talking about Season 1, Episode 11 of the Animorphs TV show, The Reaction.
Wow, this episode aired on...
So, yeah, well, right for now we're saying November 17th.
November 17th, 1998.
Yeah, so in this case, both of our sources, the only two sources that we've ever used, Wikipedia and IMDb, did agree on it, but I started a quest to try to see if I could find better information, and the first thing I found disagreed with this, and I was just like, I don't know if this is reputable. I don't fucking know what we're doing anymore.
And the thing that you found is the Nick Story Archives wiki.
Yeah, it's like a wiki, so I don't know if it's a reputable wiki because I've never heard of it before, but it does appear to have like the actual full schedule for every day, so in theory they got that from somewhere. I need a TV guide. That's what we need to go on eBay and start bidding on 1998 TV guides.
Good God.
That's what we need.
Let me give you another piece of data here.
Okay.
I don't know if you checked out this source, but Seropedia.
Oh, I didn't check this time.
They say this episode aired November 6th, as does the Nick Story Archives.
So the non-Wikipedia wikis are in agreement.
But who knows, like, Seropedia might have got that from this other website. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who figured this out.
Fuck.
I don't know, man. All I know is we will continue to talk about this and devote several minutes a week to the dates, and the listeners will love it.
I am hoping that by, season 2 at the latest, because that's most of the way through the show, I will have some kind of source that I feel comfortable with.
Right, but how is that going to happen? Because you would have to really, take the initiative to figure it out. I just don't know if I see you doing that.
Well, I already started a little bit with this first one. I'll do a little bit every week, and eventually we'll get there.
You went to one website and said, I don't know, and so that's a little bit for
you.
I
went to a couple of places, but this was the one that actually gave me anything, so I'll just keep doing that.
All right, fair enough.
We'll see.
We're gonna talk a lot about the Animorphs TV show today, right?
I guess.
I mean, that's sort of what we're doing right now. But we are gonna let someone else talk a little bit about the Animorphs TV show first, because we got an email.
The sharing.
That's right.
Jingle jingle.
We got to hear once again from our good friend. It rams with. Ah, Jesus, fuck.
A little too much eggnog in you, I think.
Oh no. It rhymes with, I was going to say, slam hiking.
I can't tell who that might be, but I'm sure the listeners will be able to figure it out. It's a puzzle for them.
Okay, well, your time is up. It's from Spam Viking.
Wow.
Loyal listener of the show, Spam Viking writes, "Greetings, Yerk folk." That's hyphenated. "It has been a little while since I've written in, and for that, I do apologize." As all of our listeners should start their emails with apologies.
You're forgiven, but only because you apologized so nicely.
"I never properly thanked you both for your kind words regarding the fan fiction I submitted for the Patreon episode. So let me say here, thanks. Also, I would encourage the freeloaders on the main feed here to join up, as seems to be tradition. You can't afford $5 a month? What, are you streaming this from a Starbucks parking lot? The library? We both know that's not true. What's wrong with you? What, you think podcasts grow on trees? Come on! He wrote that.
What can I
Not
say?
me.
He's right.
Yeah, that was in italics. Also, hopefully I conveyed that.
I think he did.
All kidding aside, Spam Viking continues.
Kidding.
I wanted to share my feelings and recollections regarding the television adaptation. I know for fact that I was totally into this series when it was being aired. I distinctly remember that I made a special effort to make a VHS recording of a particular episode I was going to miss for some reason. I have no idea what episode it was or anything like that. It might have been a two-parter, maybe in the second season. I'll let you know if I figure it out. And that's really kind of perplexing to me. I have absolutely no recollection about practically anything about the plot of this series. Watching it again along with the podcast, I'm just amazed that it made such a non-impact. I remembered that there was a disc, and that's about it. As far as what's been covered on the podcast, I have to agree that Marco was great. I think we all knew more or less what we were getting into here with an adaptation of Animorphs for live-action TV for kids. There was no reasonable way to do the big action scenes. Taxons are impossible. Horks and Andalites are pretty heavy lifts. Morphing is hard. Animals are expensive. I can excuse a lot of the changes that they've done in light of these considerations. I'm less forgiving when it comes to the choices they've made in terms of plotting the series thus far. Since events are out of order and stuff has to be cut, things seem to happen for no reason a lot of the time. What the heck is Axe even doing here? Since he wasn't on the dome ship, and maybe the dome ship doesn't exist, he's got no plausible reason to be here. Did he steal a ship? The whole oatmeal episode happens for no reason, when in the books it is linked to the Kandrona destruction EGS tower thing. And we can't forget that Tobias can teleport underground as needed. There was a way to make this work, but it doesn't seem like the show cared enough to try that hard, which is disappointing. Anyway, I'm having a grand time going through the series with you, gentlemen, for what might as well be the first time. Keep up the excellent work, as always, Spam Viking.
Thank you, Spam Viking.
Thanks for writing in. We love it. We love the email. We love your fan fiction. You got to go over to the Patreon to listen to that.
Yeah, you should. If you're not on the Patreon, what are you doing? How are you gonna hear Spam Viking's fan fiction if you don't go on the Patreon?
You're not gonna. I can tell you right now, you're not gonna.
Really missing out.
Yeah, I mean, any specific reactions to this his take on the show thus far, and perhaps his an explanation for the phenomenon that he is unable to remember anything about it?
I mean, I must have watched the first, whatever, 8 or so episodes of this, and I had, like, one memory of it, so I don't know if there's an explanation beyond it maybe not being that good, but, I certainly can relate to that.
Yeah, and similar for me. I think that it's comes from a couple of things. The
Mhm.
first being that a lot of your memories of the show are probably just wrapped up in and overshadowed by the books, which are
Mhm.
were more, you could reread them, and that's really the biggest thing. I think this show only aired over the span of what, like, was it even a full year? I feel like it was
It must have
under a
been a little
year.
bit more, because it does have another season.
Yeah, but the second season is only like 6 episodes,
Yeah, but yeah, I
and
mean, that still might make it, like, a year and a half, but yeah, it didn't air for very long. I mean, I
we'll have to
do
look at
yeah.
wait. I can look at the air dates right now.
Oh, yeah, go for it. But that is
Yeah,
still somewhat, related to it being, like, maybe not very good or very, like, kind of mediocre, because there are other properties where it's like, yeah, 100% your memories of this are gonna be divided between the books and the adaptations, because the adaptations are good enough for that, you know?
yes, but I think the difference is, and it's
Mhm.
regardless of the quality.
Okay.
I think they just didn't air this show that much.
Hmm.
Because there's plenty of shows you remember better than Animorphs that aren't good. It's simply that for whatever reason, maybe they didn't like it or it didn't do well in the ratings or whatever. I don't think Nickelodeon. This isn't a show that got reran all the
Mhm.
time. And okay, yes, looking at the dates, the last episode, according to Nick's Story Archives, aired in February 2000. So yeah, it is about a year and a half of time.
Mhm.
But there's also, according to this, a year between the end of season one
Mm.
and the beginning of season two. Um, and it looks like they aired all of season two
So,
in a short
yeah.
span of time.
So it really depends on how much they were doing reruns in there.
So I just think, yeah, I mean, the show's not that memorable, and B, it just didn't get
Yeah.
it just wasn't around that long.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it also does depend on because Spam Viking is also out here saying that he's taping episodes, right? So like that's the sort of thing where you might be rewatching them a lot, but I mean, if it was only the one episode that you were gonna miss, then maybe that just doesn't count. Because I definitely, as a kid, I had shows that I would like try to tape as many episodes as possible, and then I would rewatch them. So I
Mm.
don't know if this counts for that or not.
I never did that, which I would tape shows that I was gonna miss,
Hmm.
but I was never precious about. Which is funny in hindsight because I'm such a hoarder now of media that I'm like
Yeah, that is
concerned about it going
yeah.
away.
That is weird because, like, that is a thing. I had, like, a couple of sets of old VHS tapes where it's like, here's 10 VHS tapes where I tried to get the show in order, and I would be like, okay, I gotta wait for this episode to air before I can record the other one so that the VHS will be in order. And that feels like something you would have done.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I mean, I loved VHS tapes of movies. And I would watch
Hmm.
those over and over again, but I was always just like, TV is always on. I'm always going to have TV. I'll find it somewhere eventually.
Hmm. Hmm.
I know the schedule of reruns on Nickelodeon. I'm sure that episode will air again this month. I'll find it.
Right, right.
I'll be here. I'll be here no matter when it is. I'll be here. I'm not worried.
That's fair. I mean, maybe I was less likely to be there, so.
But yeah, I mean, the rest of his assessments in this email here are pretty reasonable. I think,
Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
yeah, no, nothing necessary. Like I don't mind the show dropping a little bit. Like obviously it's better for having it would be better if it had more overarching plot, but like the books are still standalone episodic. The TV show, if they leaned more into that for the TV show, I'd be like, sure, whatever. But that yeah, 100% it is a lot less connected.
I am glad to hear that at least one person is actually watching the show with us.
Yes, I did think that listening. I was like, oh shit, I was kind of not expecting anyone to do that.
But that's good because we also have no memory or haven't seen most of these episodes.
Right.
So this is exciting. So if you want to send in your own email with your thoughts about the show, you can do so to theyerkyboys@gmail.com. And you can sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/theyerkyboys, $5 a month. Bonus episodes every week. Last week we talked about invaders from Mars. This week, we're going to get happy. That's a tease for the end of the
Yeah.
show.
Now, what
All right.
what might that mean? You'll have to stick around to find out.
You better keep listening, you silly bitch.
Okay. We don't. You didn't need to.
I got a little fresh.
Yeah.
Oopsie. I might have some gator DNA in me. No, wait, it's a croc. Whatever.
A
Um,
little bit of that
let's
Christmas spirit coming through.
let's get into it because I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how Rachel gets through her ordeal
Mm.
of
Right.
croc DNA and all that.
Yeah, I'm excited too. We finally got a good, we've been itching for a good Rachel episode. This is a good Rachel book where she really gets to showcase kind of being out of control and irresponsible with her
Mm.
morphing and stuff. So this is a great way for her character to come through here.
Would you say this is really the first? This is the second Rachel book, right?
This
So
is
this
the
is
third,
really
the third one.
this is the third one.
Hilariously, you know what the second one is? It's the fucking Elemist book is Rachel's second book.
Wow. Because that's where she gets to see her little future vision.
Yeah, it's also the one where she gets upset about her dad moving away, and so she deals with it by sneaking into a bear enclosure without any of the other Animorphs or telling them, acquiring a bear and then using it for the first time in a battle without having told anyone she did it.
Sure. But this is what? The reaction is book 12, I want
Yeah,
to say?
book 12, you got it.
That was the third Rachel book.
Yeah,
Wow, feels like
not
it should have
counting
been
Megamorphs.
stretched out. I'm surprised. I don't know why. In my head, it feels like there shouldn't have been that many. Whatever. Well, I was gonna maybe my point doesn't make sense anymore. I was gonna say maybe this is the first real Rachel-y Rachel book when her character is what kind of becoming more solidified, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, I think her character gets a little more solidified in book 7, but this certainly does like continue that trend for sure. Or this, yeah, book 12 did, I
Right.
should say.
Well, we haven't done book 7 on the show.
Hmm.
We've done what? Books 1, 2, 4, 5.
Not really 5.
Which
Si-
one's 5?
Marco's mom.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that.
Yeah.
6
6,
we
8.
did.
Yeah. I think that's it. Oh,
But then
17.
yeah, right. I was gonna
Right.
say, isn't
Yeah.
there a 15 or something?
Yeah, yeah.
17. And now we're at 12. Okay.
Yeah.
I think they're running out of books that aren't fucking crazy.
Yeah, no,
You know?
that's true. 100, like, because this book is not that yeah, 100. If you want to do the other Rachel book, you have like what have they skipped so far? They skipped the book that's just entirely from a bird point of view. They
Uh,
skipped Marco's mom reveal, which is a big point you want to build up to. They skipped the Elemist, right?
mhm,
They skipped Eric and the Chi,
mhm,
and I guess they
mhm.
also skipped the secret, but they did keep the skunk part from that, so maybe they didn't.
Right. Yeah, but when you're looking through this series for sort of
Yeah.
relatively low key standalone episodes to do,
Oh, and
we're
Sario Rip. That's another one they skipped before.
right, right. Yeah, we're starting to hit the end of that well. It's
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to be doing from here on out, but we're going to see. I guess if you went, well, yeah, because they're not even, the books are only at what? We were at like 23, 24.
Yeah, 24 is where we are. They
So you
really
can't
are. Like, what
even,
else do they have that's not, they have the fucking Andalite toilet book still? That one's not that crazy.
okay, sure,
Uh,
sure.
what did, I mean, yeah, they can't do Lyrans and hammerheads with stuff put in their heads and they can't do that. They can't go to Lyra. They could do
Well,
the
they already
first
did the
half of book
escape.
18 and ignore the rest of it, but it's not that different from book 6.
Right.
They could do Cassie and Aftran. They got
Uh,
David. They got the Helmacrons. I mean, what did they
uh,
got? Yeah, I mean they're kind of. I guess you could do Megamorphs 1 also. Megamorphs 2 they have to be dinosaurs, but they could do Megamorphs 1. That's one they could.
Even yeah, I mean they could. I mean they would just, the Valik would just be like
Yeah.
a guy in a suit or something. Like it wouldn't even be close to
Yeah, like just
what it
literally
is.
you have Rachel has amnesia from that book and you have the Yerks have a device rather than a living tornado that can detect morphing rays. There you go.
Yeah. That could have been the first Animorphs movie if they had, been committed to the show.
Hmm. But
But
I mean,
anyway,
we
they did
started off
this.
with kind of a joke there, and then we got off
Did
topic, so
we?
we didn't get to do the big reveal.
Well, we can maybe we wait save it for the show. Let's
Okay,
just that's
okay,
because we don't the reveal
yeah.
isn't until later.
I think the reveal is at like the fucking minute 1, but
Well,
that
sure,
take.
but for me, I have lots to say about minute one.
That's true. Yeah, that's normally true. Now, all right, so. Well, let's do our regular intro here. So this is a new director.
Oh, right, we didn't even do that shit yet.
How the fuck is
Go
this
ahead.
guy's name pronounced? Is it supposed to be Graham? Graham? Grema?
Uh,
Graham Lynch.
yeah, it's probably British or something, right?
Yeah, or some shit.
Grame. I think it's Greem.
Sure.
It
Believe
is
Green.
a boy's name of British origin with a Scottish variation of the name Graham. So it's like
Okay.
Graham.
Yeah, there you go.
Ugh.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, 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 that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
Ugh, these Animorphs. They're always morphing into things. I've never really attempted a Scottish accent. Is that good?
That's not bad. Put some bagpipes
Okay.
behind it. This guy doesn't have like a Wikipedia page. It looked like he's just another one of these guys who does like an episode for every show.
Yeah, he's. I don't know. He did Erie, Indiana, The Other Dimension. What the fuck is that? It's all Canadian shit.
Okay.
Um,
Why are you even
Beverly
bother to read
Hills.
that one off?
I thought Erie, Indiana sounded familiar,
Mm.
but I think this is like a spin-off of it, and I got confused.
Why? Why the fuck is Canada making like a what do you call it? Like History Channel style fucking mythological creature thing about Indiana. The
There's
Indiana
crazy shit
jackalope or
going on
whatever
in
the
there. This is his first Animorphs episode we've seen, but he does 4 more after this. So he's
Okay,
sticking
okay.
around.
So there will be more. They didn't fire him.
But yeah, all his other stuff is like he's done 36 episodes of the ongoing show Race Against the Tide, which is a reality show. So that's his current gig.
Never heard of it. Any Canadian listeners can tell us if that's a real thing or not.
It's apparently gone on for a few seasons and is still active.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Dunno. Writer here is Carl Ellsworth, who...
Now this guy's interesting.
This guy did something, yeah. Tell me about this guy.
Well, 3 episodes of Animorphs. Again, this is the first one of 3 for him. He did do 1 episode of Buffy.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't even
which
see
was
that.
is his first writing credit on here, which is kind of interesting. And it was a good episode too. It's the Halloween episode from season 2 where they all turn into their costumes.
Yeah. Okay. I do remember that one.
Then he has a few, he did a couple Xenas, the kind of thing you'd expect, but he also wrote a few movies that are like relatively well known. Red Eye, the Wes Craven, Cillian Murphy movie, which I actually think is pretty good.
I haven't seen it. I'll watch it if you
pretty.
Tell
yeah,
me to, maybe.
It's a pretty fun. You won't, but unless I make you for the Patreon, but
I might.
It's a fun little thriller, and it was like one of Cillian Murphy's first like roles before people knew who he was, and he's really good in it. Disturbia, this guy wrote the Shia LaBeouf remake of Rear Window is what that was.
I think that's right. Yeah, it's definitely a remake of Rear Window.
Yeah, or at least I don't know if it was officially or if it was just like a knockoff, right. But that's what it was. The Last House on the Left, I guess this is a remake, right? There's an original Last House on the Left, isn't there? This is not.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. And Red Dawn.
No clue what that is.
It's like, I don't know. It has Chris Hemsworth, but it's not like I don't know.
But the point is he's done stuff that people's heard of.
He has done stuff that people's heard of.
Like even during Animorphs time, it's like, okay, he did Animorphs, Buffy, Xena, all shows we've referenced frequently for different reasons.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so he's a guy. He does not have very many credits, I will say, which is interesting. Like,
yeah. I mean, I do think that it's saying something that, like, when you say, okay, what did he do contemporary to the Animorphs TV show? You're saying Buffy and Xena and not Goosebumps.
Right.
In terms of, is this guy real?
That is actually shocking that he has no Goosebumps credits.
Oh, he has no Goosebumps. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe you were going to say he also did a Goosebumps, but...
Yeah, no, none Goosebumps.
None Goosebumps left Animorphs.
He did do 4 episodes of a show that I mentioned before that I don't think had ever heard of, called Cleopatra 2525.
I don't think I know this.
Which is it was like it's the same. It's the Xena era. It's that kind of a show. Let me read you the logline here. An exotic dancer is frozen in 2001 and unfrozen in 2525 by 2 female warriors fighting against robots that have taken over the world. So it's Samurai Jack with strippers.
Maybe that'll be on our Patreon to follow
Can
up
we
Xena and
please?
Sheena.
Can we please? It also has it's Gina Torres, Zoe from Firefly is one of the main characters.
Maybe we will. Who knows?
All
Uh,
right.
yeah. Um, two new actors, Cameron Graham as fucking Jason John McCall. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
And
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. Tell me about if you have things to say. I don't really fucking have anything to say about
No, he was on. This guy was on Goosebumps,
it. Of course, yeah. And
but nothing else.
Fraser McGregor is credited on IMDb as playing Timothy, who I assume is the little boy. In the book, the little boy who
Oh,
falls in the gator pit is called Tyler. And in this one, he does not have a name, and I think he is uncredited in the episode, so I don't really. I'm guessing that's who he is.
now why do they not credit Ethan?
Yeah, right? We'll talk about. I have a lot to say about Ethan.
See,
Fan
this is what
favorite
I'm
Ethan,
talking
who
about.
everyone remembers, of course.
Yeah, this is before we get into any of the other stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you know what? This is a good segue to we can start talking about this episode because we're going to get to Ethan pretty fast.
Hell yeah, Ethan Hunt. I hope.
Sure. Why not?
Ethan Suppley. I hope.
So they're at a zoo here. Cassie and Rachel are at a zoo on I suppose it's a class trip. I think it's a
Yeah.
class trip in the book, and here there's this guy Ethan with them who's got his backpack on, and they're talking like they know him. Presumably he's their classmate.
Mhm.
Uh Now we have a opening narration that I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it because it's like it's a Cassie narration, which already should be kind of odd to you.
I actually
Uh,
couldn't tell. Well, I
mm,
assumed it was Rachel, and then the camera like shows Cassie, so then I was like, wait, which one of them's talking?
right.
Because I couldn't really. I don't know about you. I couldn't pick their voices out of a lineup
Women all
personally.
sound the same to you. I get it.
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
it's kind of weird because like I don't know that I understand what thematically is going on in this narration because she's like, morphing has a lot of rules, I guess. Like, you can't stay over 2 hours, you can't morph from one form to another. And I'm just like, and these rules help us control our morphs. And I'm like, what? First of all, do they? Second of all, what does that have to do with the weird allergy plot line we're going into in book 12? Like, what? What? I don't know that
that's
I understand.
called a recap, my friend.
Yeah, but
That's
why? Why are we recapping this? It feels
be
like it's setting up maybe like this is actually secretly a Tobias episode. Of course it's not.
well,
But
this is another reason I assumed this was Rachel
mm,
is because she specifically mentions Tobias is caught in morph, and that feels like a thing Rachel would care to talk about.
I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Also, given the episode, that was my initial assumption.
Right, right.
Given the source material.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a recap of rules that also were barely introduced before. I mean, the 2 hour limit is pretty
Yeah.
clear, but she also mentions that you can't transform, you can't morph
Yeah.
from animal to another animal,
Which
which
is
is like,
weird. Like in the book, part of the morphing allergy thing, Rachel was going between them and that was crazy, but that doesn't like ever happen in this episode. So I don't really know. Like maybe that was in an initial script so that you would realize
maybe.
that was weird, but then they just cut the scene.
Yeah, it's also never really like it is true on the show, but I don't know if it's something they've even stated out loud, like explicitly. It's just
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right because like there is a closing narration that kind of tries to bring it full circle and talks about those rules. It feels like they're trying to somehow set up something with this, and to me it just feels like a mess.
yeah, I didn't think about it that hard. I was just like, it's a little recap.
Yeah,
But
that's. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I guess
uh,
at this point, I'm expecting that they'll never recap anything for me, so I assume that the narration is trying to actively introduce this episode. Because why would they
hmm.
tell you what's going on?
Well, they're telling you the important stuff. You don't need to know the basis of Yerks or Animorphs. Just you need to know that if you want to turn into one animal, you
But
got to be human again first.
but when was the last time in the show they told you the important stuff, like Axe is an alien, for example?
I
Like they don't even
well,
fucking do that.
yeah, I do think in the last episode there was at some point someone
Hmm.
was like, the Yerks came and now we're this.
Okay,
Like
okay.
they usually every once in a while they give it like one sentence,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um,
but not all the time. Not all the time.
yeah. Man, I
um,
have things to say about this before Ethan even fucking shows up.
yeah, man. I mean, we're at the zoo.
Yeah, at the
I
zoo.
I think I think we can assume we know what zoo this is.
Yes, I think we can assume that.
It's what is it called? The Bowman
I think that's right.
Zoo?
I don't remember the actual name, but I think that's
I,
right.
I feel like there's another part of it. It's like the Bowman something.
The zoo that lent out all the animals to the TV show, or rented them to the TV show, whatever you call it, and also got in trouble for beating the animals.
Yes, Bowmanville.
Bowmanville.
Bowmanville Zoo.
Yeah. Uh,
And we're probably seeing Limba in this
Limba.
scene.
Ooh, who's Limba?
Limba, the lone Asian elephant at the zoo. They had
Wow.
7 elephants, a mix of African and Asian.
Uh huh.
And Limba arrived in 1989. And in late 2013, at the age of 50, they found a malignant tumor in her abdomen and she was euthanized.
Oh no, poor Limba.
But she was known for appearing in their annual Santa Claus parade.
Oh man, it's
oh.
oh. That's our Christmas episode. We
That's
put
right.
a little elephant in a Santa hat.
Merry Christmas. Oh, my abdomen. Oh, no.
Okay, you didn't have to make it sad. I'm trying to make it happy and joyful and merry.
Oh, it hurts, children. I'll never forget how much it hurts.
Yeah. This zoo
Limbo
looks
was in
kinda
Billy
shitty.
Madison, by the way. Sorry. She's in Billy Madison. We don't know. We can't confirm Limbo was in this scene. I just think it's probable.
I'm gonna assume, yeah. I mean, so here's the thing about this zoo is that the fucking if this were like a reputable zoo, this like lion and tiger and everything, they'd be like down in a pit. And here they've got some
Mm.
like chicken wire fence with like a wooden railing in front of it to make sure you don't stick your hands through it. It looks very shitty.
People are feeding peacocks. That's kind of fun. Yeah, I don't know how much of that is. It was the '90s. Maybe zoo standards were lower. I think they were lower,
I'm sure they were, but still.
and it was Canada, so they also sometimes are
Right.
a little behind us.
Right. And it's not because I mean in the gardens these animals are described as being in like actual pits the way that they should be.
Yeah,
Like in the book when the kid falls in the gator pit, he like falls in a pit. They like have to get him out of the pit. There's like a drop. And in
right.
this one he literally just kind of hops the fence and walks in. And so, they're just going to go up to him and be like, all right, kid, walk back to the fence, please."
Yeah,
Hop it.
right.
Not much of a rescue.
It also feels in the book there was more of it was more believable that there were sort of hiding places.
Yeah.
And here it's just like everyone can
Yeah.
see everything that's going
Well,
on.
also in the book, Rachel actually morphs into the other crocodile on the
Right.
spot and fucking fights it off. Whereas in this one, it's just like,
Right.
okay, acquire trance, get out.
Yes.
I should
Yes.
also mention these quote unquote crocodiles. Pretty sure these are caimans. Uh,
Hmm.
different, I'm not an expert in this, but the layperson difference that I would be aware of here is that if this was a crocodile, it would look really big and scary and not be like 4 feet long.
Well, I'm looking at Seropedia here.
Uh huh.
Take this however
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
The good folks at Seropedia for a note on this episode, which by the way, I'll just say it now. Normally, the Seropedia pages for these episodes are very slim.
Hmm.
They usually have like very little info, just some basic stuff. For whatever reason, this one has an extensive list of the differences between the episode and the book.
Okay. Okay.
And for this note, they say the crocodiles appeared to be juveniles due to
Mm.
their size. So
Okay.
maybe they're just like teenage crocodiles.
Well, like I said, I'm not an expert. I can't tell the difference between a baby croc and a caiman. I wouldn't know. But I just looked at it and was like, that thing is not that scary. That thing is smaller than me.
Did you ever read American Crocs?
No.
It's one of my favorite books by Neil Gaiman.
I'm really upset that I didn't see that one coming, and I'm kind of pissed off at you right now. You've really soured my Christmas spirit, honestly. I'm gonna be in a bad
Oh,
mood for the rest of the episode. Fuck you.
that was a lump of coal because you were a bad boy this year.
I've been good. Fuck you. I'm a good boy. I'm not a
Sorry.
bad boy. I'm
You
good.
were on the naughty list. You got Neil Gaiman.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyway,
Uh,
the Crocs are small.
the Crocs
The
are
zoo
small.
is shit.
The zoo is shit. Actually, another interesting thing when they walk past the fucking shitty tiger cage. Did you notice this? The tiger does like a little growl roar, and I swear to God, it's the same as the MGM lion, like the opening to that, which famously is a tiger roar, secretly. And I was
Wait,
wondering,
really? I didn't know that.
oh yeah, lion
That's-
roars they sound weird. They aren't the same at all. They sound like a car engine rumbling at you.
Huh.
Um, yeah, they're scary in a totally different way. It doesn't have the same cinematic impact, I guess. But the point is that I was wondering, do you think they just took that stock sound, or am I mishearing this?
It's probably a sound that is so like, how do you pick apart? It
Mhm.
might be the same one, or it might be that every tiger roar just sounds like that.
That could
you know?
be. That could be. Yeah, yeah,
Just one of those sound effects that's like always the same. I like what they say about field trips here. It's so true. And here we can transition into this new character.
yeah. Ethan. It's finally time for Ethan. What everyone's been waiting for all episode.
Ethan is this kid who I want to punch in the face.
Here's the thing. When they said because you see him talk for a while, when they said his name was Ethan, my immediate thought was, yeah, he fucking looks like an Ethan. So if your name is Ethan, I'm sorry, but that's
Ethan
just what I think
from
of you.
Control Alt Delete. I love him. He's got like a ponytail or something going on that I don't care for. He looks like a dope. And yeah, his introduction is he's like, man, field trips give you a taste of freedom, and then you got to go back on the bus.
Yeah.
My first thought was like, is this David? Maybe.
Yeah.
Are they
Bring it in,
trying to-
David. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is also just so weird. I'm just not used to in Animorphs having a side character show up and then having Animorphs talk to them as though they know them. Which, it makes, I mean, this is their fucking classmate. They should know him, but, right?
Yeah.
But
Why not just make it Melissa?
Why not just make it Melissa?
I mean, another question, where are the other Animorphs? Is this only for...
Yeah, well, they're not
Is
in
their
the same
class? There's what? Which class goes to the zoo?
I don't know.
Also, have they said on the show how old these kids are actually supposed to be?
I have no clue. Yeah, I don't think so.
Because you don't go to the zoo if you're in high school. But they look too old to be like, if you're 13,
no, there's no way these are not supposed to be in high school, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could go to the zoo in high school for certain things, but it's not as accepted as, younger kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. But who knows? That's a question for another day. Ethan, he's there. They also say, oh, these crocodiles look fake because they're so lazy or whatever. They're all sleeping.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I think it's Ethan says a great quote.
Yeah.
Let's check out the tigers. They're real.
Yeah, right?
With
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
like it's not said as a joke. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, these
it's
are fake. Let's go see the real tigers.
I mean, I assumed that was supposed to be a joke that just didn't work at all, but I don't fucking yeah, I don't
Yeah,
I do
yeah. No,
I don't have the specific I guess you wrote down the specifics of what was said, but I do have a note here that just says what the fuck is this banter? Like what like who wrote the back and forth between Ethan?
there's a lot of that going on in this episode, I think. The zoo security here pretty lax.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking okay, so this little shit, Timothy, climbs over the fence,
I just want
right?
to say for the
Yeah.
record, we're at about 41 minutes into the podcast. We are now at second 48 of the episode.
Well, listen, how many seconds? 24 minutes? How many seconds is that? Because that, it's not
I
going to be
can't do
too
that
many
math.
minutes.
No,
Is
it
what I'm
shouldn't be too
saying.
many. It shouldn't be too many.
Uh,
Oh.
all right.
Go ahead.
So,
Here's Timothy. Here's little Timothy.
yeah, little Timothy, he just kind of hops the fence. And this is where
No
we get.
parents either. Where the fuck are
Yeah.
this kid's parents?
Well, fucking, there's going to be a crowd of people later that's all gathered around, which, again, if there's a crocodile pit, I get why there's a crowd of people like, oh my God, someone's got to help him. But, like, if literally all you did was hop over a fence, what? Just go in there. Just get him.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
You don't even need to help him. Just be like, dude, kid, get the fuck out. Go back. Backwards.
It is so funny. So, because first Cassie goes in and puts her
Yes.
hand on his shoulder and is like, "We gotta go." And then a second later, Rachel comes in, puts her hand on Cassie's shoulder, and is like, "We gotta go."
Yeah.
Like, how many people need to get in there to tell them to leave?
Yeah, right. But okay, so this is the first major difference is that it's Cassie who jumps the fence to go in there, not Rachel. Rachel
Right, well,
follows after her.
They're both in there and still, like, Rachel does follow.
Yes, Rachel does
But-
follow.
But yes, they are both there.
Yes,
So
and
it's
like
yeah.
I mean, almost immediately, just like you see a shot of like the kids in the alligator or the crocodile enclosure, whatever. Cassie jumps the fence while Rachel goes, "What are you doing?" Which immediately I'm just like, that shouldn't that be the opposite? That like maybe Cassie follows Rachel in.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah.
immediately is kind of standing out to me here.
But we go into the intro still not knowing what's going to happen.
Mhm,
They're in
mhm.
they're in the croc pit, which, by the way, I mean, we mentioned how they look small.
Yeah.
But these are the least scary crocodiles I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, some of it is just that they look small. Some of it is the way that they're shot. And like, it might just be that they can't put them in a shot with the Animorphs at the same time and have it look scary because it would look even worse if you saw them side by side. There are going to be points later in the episode where I feel like, part of the issue could be the framing, where it's just like you needed to do a better job hiding the scale of these things because they're too small.
Well, and they try, like, they do these
Mhm.
camera zooms into their mouth, like, that are
Yeah.
supposed to be ferocious.
It's like not good enough though.
I just in my head heard, he's not snarling, he's sneezing. You know? That's what's going on here. They're just friendly little guys. They just want to hang
friendly little
out.
guys. Yeah, they want to have fun. The problem is that we humans were too good at identifying baby animals and being like, he's just a baby. It's
That's
a
right.
baby crocodile.
I
He's
guess
cute.
if you're a kid, you don't know the difference, maybe. Well, or you do if you're a dork, but
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, and then we come back from the intro, and now it's officially
And now it's
revealed.
official. Rachel takes the kid back to the fence while Cassie jumps forward and acquires the crocodile. Again, just not at all how you would expect these characters to behave. The complete opposite of how you would
Well,
expect this to go down, I would say.
That's the opposite of how you would expect them to
In
go
the-
down in the books.
in the books. Yes, that's
In
true.
the show, I have no expectations of these
Yeah.
characters whatsoever.
So in the show, this kind of comes back to what you were saying earlier, because in the show, the expectation is that Cassie's going to grab and acquire the alligator because she's the more interesting
Crocodile.
character. Yeah, the crocodile, because she's the more interesting character.
Cayman.
And Rachel's going to do nothing because she's the less interesting character. And that's kind of what we expect to happen here.
Or you might, like, You might think, well, what do I know about Cassie? She's good with
She's
animals.
good
I
with
do
animals.
know
That's
that
true. That's
based on the
true.
show, so I can sort of see how that connection makes more sense. Since what I know about Rachel is she's blonde,
Yes. Yeah.
she is there.
So almost immediately, I'm just remembering what you said earlier, where I'm just like, here's the problem is that, like, okay, this is, I think, a disaster for Rachel's character because this was like the moment when you really could have been like, let's finally make her do a Rachel thing. And then you actively make the choice to give it to a different character and not give it to her. And it's like, all right, well, fuck that character. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure I enjoyed this episode a lot more because it was Cassie who did it, just because Cassie's better in the show.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's this maybe we just we probably just talk about all of this here because it's throughout the whole episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I mean, it's
It's
gonna yeah. It's how we
it's
always do it.
obviously it's a huge change.
Mhm.
It's a big change from the book. I think they're really just trying to make sure that you are never accurate when you say what's going to happen on the next episode. You never actually know.
Yeah.
Um, because what you say is true, but the thing that's even still weirder about it
Mhm.
is that Cassie and Rachel are still the two main protagonists.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, it's just Cassie instead of Rachel. It's the two of them together in almost every scene.
Mhm.
And if you had just swapped them or kept them unswapped, it would play out pretty much the same way and you'd get an equal amount of screen time still for both characters. So it's not like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the Cassie episode now. And it's still a Rachel episode too. So it's even more nonsensical to make the change.
Yeah, and it is kind of I mean, here's the really unfortunate thing that I guess we'll get to it, but like Rachel does a decent job getting some extra like development just by bouncing off of Cassie, but it's basically most of it is her like simping over Jason John McCall. And it's just like, okay, so it really feels like Rachel as a character is most developed when she is like flirting with guys. Like she likes Tobias. We
Yeah.
had that scene.
Jake.
She flirts with Jake all the time. Oh boy, does she flirt with him in this episode. Holy shit. Uh
She's flirting with those Crocs, I tell you.
yeah, like what and it really does like flatten her out a lot. But on the other hand, it does mean that the more difficult scenes, the more like interesting emotional bits are going to Cassie, and I mean it did kind of work, and I'm not sure it would have. I don't have a lot of faith anymore in Rachel's actress or the writers for Rachel.
Yeah, do we think it's how is it just that Cassie's actress is a better actress than they thought? And I think she's older than Rachel too, so maybe they just thought she'll
Mhm.
be able to handle better like the screaming in pain, anguish kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is such an odd flip to make because even if you didn't understand Rachel's character at all, you would still just be like, yeah, that's the Rachel book, so I'll just make her do it. Like it's
Right.
such an intentional choice.
But also, it like since when does this show care about whether or not an actor is good?
Yeah, right? I
Like,
don't
so maybe for some reason, Brooke Nevin was like, I don't want to, I'm afraid of crocodiles. I don't want to do
yeah.
that or something. So swap me out.
Yeah, or
she's still in all the scenes with them. So
yeah,
I don't know.
or just like some of the scenes where I have to be allergic, I don't want to be like crawling on the bathroom floor at the end, or like I don't want to roll around
Right.
in the hay covered in sweat. That's gross. I don't know.
Right.
I feel like to me it makes most sense to think that it is like a writer's thing where they were just like, I literally don't know how to write Rachel. Fucking we're writing
Yeah.
Cassie.
I guess. I mean, it's
But
the
it is
thing
so
is
weird,
there
yeah.
is no valid explanation because
Yeah.
even given that, it's like you said, but just read the book.
Yeah.
Just do what the book did.
Yeah. And honestly, literally just flip their lines and it would have been fine. Like, what's Cassie doing in this that she couldn't? I mean, hell, Jake flirts with Rachel more than he does Cassie in this episode. It would probably be for the best if you just flipped him.
Yeah, very strange choice, and also maybe we'll save until we get there, but because at first, it's been a while since I read this. We've always say I don't remember these books as well. And I was like, I guess, you make that switch and it kind of doesn't matter. Like, it's generic enough that any
Mhm.
character could get the allergy and make it work.
Mhm.
But it is like, because there is the whole thing that what brings the allergy out is your emotions getting
Mhm.
out of control. So it does make more sense for that to be Rachel
Yeah.
more than Cassie.
And it also does showcase an element of Rachel we haven't seen showcased in the show, and that isn't an element of Cassie, which is that, like, a large part of the plot hinges on them all saying, Rachel, your morphing is out of control, right? You need to
Mm.
back off until you go through this thing and get yourself under control. And Rachel just says, "All right, I did. It's all good. I did." She just lies about it. She doesn't give a shit. She's just going to run in there even though it's dangerous, throw caution to the wind. And that is still out, like, that's a big part of this episode too. And it's like I don't buy that Cassie, even though with they're like, oh well, she didn't maybe strictly say it, they just assumed, and it's like, yeah, but Cassie wouldn't. Cassie's not the character to be all like, yeah, I'll just go on there when everything could go wrong and get fucked up and not let anybody know about it and be like, well, I didn't personally say it. No, that's what Rachel would do, at least in the
Yeah.
books. That
Hmm.
would be the chance to make this Rachel do anything. It would be that.
Yeah.
It's
It doesn't
weird.
make sense. It doesn't
Yeah,
make
like,
sense.
yeah, Cassie is like not an out of control character.
Cassie's also an estrine.
True. Yes.
So she should also be able to manage this allergy better.
Mm. I mean, that could also be part of it. They were like, okay, it's some weird thing involving morphing. I know Cassie has like things involving morphing, so that's
No,
related, right? And she's good with
they
animals. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a Cassie
no,
plot. Why is that a Rachel plot?
they did not know. They did not know about any of that. You know what happened? They were like, somebody just accidentally swapped their names. They're like, oh yeah, I read the book. Yeah, yeah. It's Cassie. Yeah, yeah, it's Cassie. Are you sure? I saw the cover of it. I thought, no, 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 no. I read it. I read it last night. It's Cassie. It's Cassie. It's Cassie. Go ahead. Shoot it. It's Cassie. I read
That
it. It's fine.
honestly makes more sense than any of our other guesses. That
It
somebody
is
just accidentally
yeah,
flipped it.
yeah.
Or maybe like the person who wrote it out just like it didn't have the names of the characters or whatever, and they had like the
Yeah.
actresses, and somebody was just like, which one's fucking Brooke and which one's Nadia? Oh fucking you get this one and you get that one.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the first time, right, that they've done this, really? That they've like totally swapped a character, or did they do this once
I mean,
before?
swapped for sure, because they really did totally swap it.
Like
I
they
think
kind of made the capture an Axe POV, but it's not like
yeah.
Axe was the one who got infested.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they've changed stories around, but here it really is just a direct two character swap out.
So I'm never gonna get over it. Like, we need behind the scenes of the making of this show. I have so
Yeah,
many questions.
yeah. Well, there is
What
that book. Maybe
happened?
that'll answer them.
I'm sure it's in that book. We'll find out.
Meet the
Okay.
stars.
All right. All right. Well, anyway, that's
Yeah, now that
established.
we're
Now
an
we
hour
get it.
in, we can be a minute into the show.
No, no, we're like 3 minutes in. Come on. Um. Okay. Also, I like when they're in there holding the kid, and Cassie's just like, "I'll acquire its DNA," and the kid's not like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
They don't mention it. They're not worried. Maybe this kid's got a yerk in his head. They're just like, it's fine. But you know what? That's consistent with the books too. So
yeah. No, I think in the books, Rachel, after she turned into a crocodile, she thought spoke to the kid and was like, "I'm a magic talking crocodile. Get on my back, kid." So it's not really. It's no worse than that.
yeah, that's you're right. You're right. Zoo security never shows up ever.
I swear to God, when they get him out, there's like a guy in like a sunglasses and oh no, I guess I see he's wearing like a tan shirt and pants, and I thought that maybe that was a uniform, but now that I'm looking at him, that's not a uniform. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, they
that's just
never
a
do.
guy who's pretending he's on safari.
Yeah, it's right, exactly. You think these people here were actually extras, or do you think they just went to the zoo and the people who were there that day, they were like, "You want to be in a TV show?"
Yeah, that is very likely. A special day at the Bowmanville Zoo. Be on Animorphs. This is not the gardens, by the way, is it? Did they ever say the gardens in the show
They
even?
don't say the gardens, so we don't. But it could be the gardens, because I think
But
they
even
went to
like,
the gardens before and it sucked.
did they establish it in an earlier episode? I
I
don't
swear
remember.
they said it was the gardens. I mean, they went somewhere when they got Jake's tiger and Rachel's lion, and I
Hmm.
thought but maybe I'm wrong.
I think they were just like, oh, this is like Cassie's parents' animal
Mm.
clinic.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, they said Cassie's parents, but it wasn't the gardens. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. See, this is you're too wrapped up in that
I know.
original source
I
material.
know. I remember it too well. I need to
And guess what? They never fucking
flashy
said
things.
Animorphs either. They've never said it. They won't say it. They don't want to say it. All right. Cut to our boy.
Our boy Victor Trent. He's watching TV.
Really
What do
good TV.
humans find so fascinating about this continuous barrage of moving pictures?
That's right. And as he's channel surfing to shows that exclusively show cars or explosions and no human faces that they would have to pay for.
Right, right.
He's just flipping through cars and explosions.
I fucking love. Why don't I mean maybe they do still do this, but I love the like old, villains in cartoons or whatever the hell when they're just like, "Ah, yes, the TV is evil. We're going to use it to brainwash children." And then they kind of like wink at the camera cuz like as a kid you're like, "Haha, the cartoons. He's the evil villains using cartoons cuz it's bad for me to watch them. It rots my brain." I love that. That's fun.
We love brain rot here.
We do.
We're all about that. This is his only Eugene only shows up here, right? This is it. This is his scene.
I think that's true. Yeah, this is the only time he shows up.
Pretty brief cameo. We also have Tom here.
Yes, we do have Tom.
And the show is really making it seem like Tom is very high up if he's directly hanging out with and assisting Visser 3 right now.
Yeah, I like this. In the books, they had Tom be pretty high up, and then Tom's Yerk advanced and took over Jake and died, and then they kind of forgot about Tom being all that high up. Probably, I guess the new Yerk was just kind of a middle manager. But I like the idea that they keep Tom around and near the top, because then you get Tom, and maybe we
Yes.
can actually talk about Jake and Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a kind of recurring controller.
We get our first glimpse of Jason John McCall.
Yeah, where I guess so that is in fact why they name dropped fucking Jason John McCall last episode. Is so
And by
you'd
the
know.
way, as I saw in the credits, that's no H in John. It's Jason Jon McCall.
Right. Yes.
Which I'm a no H Jonathan.
Mhm.
I don't like H's, and that offends me if someone puts an H in my name.
Okay. Mhm.
But I also don't like this. There should have been an H in it,
Right.
I think.
Yeah, you put H's are for other people's names.
Yes, yes.
Right. Right.
I mean, what do you think about this guy and his portrayal? What's your initial reaction to seeing? Is this the Jeremy Jason McCall of your dreams?
I mean, not really. I will say when I got a better view of him later and he wasn't on the TV, I did have the initial thought, why is he so ugly? He's not even ugly. He's just like he's supposed to be the hottest guy ever, and I'm like, man, he's really not.
Listen, this is the best Canada can do.
You're gonna simp over. You know what? It's not because you're gonna simp over this guy when you have fucking Marco. Like you expect me to believe that Rachel and Cassie are falling over each other over this guy when Marco is right there.
I will
Fucking Marco
so
and Jake both hotter than this guy.
my thought wasn't why is he so ugly.
Uh-huh.
My thought was why is he so old?
That is also part of part of the problem.
Because we assume in the book it's a take on Jonathan
Mhm.
Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be like a teen heartthrob. Like he
Right.
should be like 20 tops or something.
Yeah. I mean,
And this guy
do
looks like he's in his
think-
30s.
Yeah, right? And I do think part of the problem with him looking ugly, like, is partially presentation. Like, he you can tell he's too old, but they do kind of present him like he's young, right? Don't they?
I
Like
don't
he's got
even
like the
know.
bleach blonde hair and the way,
Yeah.
like I'm looking at him and I'm just like, that's not how you make an old guy look attractive. He looks ugly because he's trying to look like a young guy, but he's not.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with him. He doesn't look cool. That's
No,
for
he does
sure.
not look cool.
He does sort of, if I have to be, generous or to give an idea, he does kind of look like Ryan Gosling a little bit, doesn't
Hmm.
he?
Listen, I think this guy could be hot if he was not presented the way he is.
Sure. No, yeah, I mean, despite what you said, he's
Yeah.
not like an
No.
unpleasant looking guy, but he's not
Yeah.
like, holy shit, that's fucking Justin Bieber, you
Yeah, I mean,
know?
like, because like here's the other thing is you say he kind of looks like Ryan Gosling, but he
Looks like Ryan
doesn't.
Gosling now,
He
not
he looks like your friend who everyone says looks like Ryan
right.
Gosling, but really he looks like a normal guy who kind of looks like Ryan Gosling. If he were hotter, he'd look like that, but he looks normal,
Yeah. Well, I do
right?
think, I think like 40% of Ryan Gosling is just his charisma.
Mm,
And that carries him all the way. And this guy's like Ryan Gosling without the charisma. You just
fair, yeah.
remove the it factor and it's just like, oh, it's just a guy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely does not have charisma. Like they had, and maybe part of that is that they're like, oh, you have to act like an asshole. But like, there is a certain kind of like, I get away with acting like an asshole because I have so much charisma that I charm people when I'm not being a dick. And this guy's just a dick. And, like he doesn't know what the charisma should be to back that.
I'm also not clear on, I don't even remember in the books. Do we know like what did Jeremy Jason McCole do? Like why was he famous? Was he an actor?
Yes, he was on the TV show. I believe it was called Powerhouse.
I'm glad you
Um,
remember that.
I mean, I just went through the notes I skimmed them, so I'm
Mm.
trying to remember. And I believe he wanted to break into the movie star business, get off of TV and be a movie guy. And Visser 3
Mm.
promised him that through the sharing he'd help him with that or something.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because in here, they say like he's going to talk about his new movie on the show. So
Right.
he's just
Yeah,
a
they
movie guy.
they cut a lot of stuff that is probably good to cut. Like we don't
Well,
get the whole scene
yeah.
where he's like on the ship talking to Visser 3 and then the Animorphs show up and Visser 3 turns into a giant pufferfish monster and they have a huge fight and it's like it's not really necessary to the idea that he's going to be on a talk show.
And
You know?
isn't that also because he's not infested yet? Part of the book is them trying to stop him from getting infested.
Yeah, so like part of the book, yes, in part of the book they're trying to scare him away cuz he's not infested. He's going to be voluntary. And in this one they leave it up in the air whether, they're like, well, he is infested. We find that out. But like, was
Well,
he
we know
always
he's
an
promoting the
asshole?
sharing
Right. Well, later on,
right
we're going to see
away.
he's got a yerk and we can just assume maybe
Yeah.
he was always. But,
Yeah.
yeah, like, I think they leave it up in the air in terms of like, is he acting like a dick because he's got a yerk or was he always a dick and the yerk's just continuing it? Whereas in the books, it's just like, oh, turns out he was a dick.
Yeah. I get. I mean, that's not even like a. It doesn't matter whether or
Yeah.
not he was always a dick.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
not.
But like that's a much bigger thing in the books because Rachel and
Yeah.
Cassie are sitting around like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Right. Whereas in this one, like
Mhm.
it's a good thing. Listen, like we always say, they got 24 minutes. You got to drop something, and that's
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
for the best.
it's probably like, even though I kind of miss it, I do think it makes sense for the show that they cut out all the stuff with Visser 3 and his assistants,
Yeah.
that they have a special relationship on the
Right.
Daybreeze
Yeah, I was
together.
gonna make sure that got brought up because
Yeah.
I did really like that part of the book, especially the like goth eyeliner and fishnets on the slutty Andalite.
Right, right.
That part was really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good parts.
Right.
There's a lot.
Yeah, a
There's a
lot of
lot.
really kind of interesting parts and good. I
Yeah.
think about them a lot,
I'll
sometimes.
never forget what happened on the Daybreeze, personally. Not in the show. So at the end of this little clip, Fisher 3 says, "Finally, television worth watching."
Yeah,
You think
that's
they
great.
used that in the promos? Think that was the commercial break for
Oh, I
Animorphs?
hope so. I fucking hope so. I loved
Yeah.
that. That was good. Fucking Art Deco doors are back. I'm gonna notice them every time now.
Is it this? It's the same ones,
It's
right?
the
Is
same
right?
ones. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is yeah, this wasn't like a random set. This is Visser Three's lair. This is his
That's his
home.
lair.
Yeah.
That's where he lives. Just chilling as Eugene Lipinski for some reason. But what, who
That's just
cares?
how it is. Now, okay, so we changed Jeremy Jason McCall to Jason John McCall. We also changed the Barry and Cindy Sue show to Larry and Linda Live.
Now, am I crazy, or does Larry and Linda, was that also something from the books? That sounds
I
like a
don't
thing.
I don't think it was because like I said in the books this was Barry and Cindy Sue.
I guess it just sounds, the alliteration just sounds
Yeah.
good.
Barry, Larry, Linda,
Or
Cindy.
is there
Maybe
a
they forgot.
chance? Did they maybe mention this show on the TV show before? Was there another Larry and Linda mention?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, part of the reason I'm pointing this out is that I'm going to go through name changes. I think there's some more that are just very small details that don't matter. And then there's one that's the same for like no good reason. And I'm just sitting here like, why did they change them? Is it like, does it have to do with the fact that these are riffs on real shows and they didn't like the riff that Kay Applegate did for some reason? Is it literally just they didn't remember what they were? They didn't write it down and they took their best guess? Like
Whoever
why?
wrote the episode was like, I'm not going to sit here. This is demeaning to just adapt this book
Yeah.
someone else wrote directly. I got to put my own stamp
Right.
on it.
I mean,
It's like when in The Shining,
Yeah.
when Kubrick like changes the car,
Right.
as like the deep cut Shining lore, that like the car is different than the one described in the book, like just to be like, fuck this book, mine's different.
I mean, maybe it was the director, right? Maybe the Scottish version of the Animorphs book was different.
Ah,
The Scottish edition.
no Scottish lad would be named Jeremy Jason McCall. Jason John's more right. That's a fella I'd have a drink with while I was gonna say kiss the Blarney Stone, but that's Irish.
Right, that's
what do
Irish.
Scottish people do? Scrooge McDuck.
Something
That's
with
it,
sheep,
right?
maybe.
Sheep. Yeah, they fuck sheep. Probably.
Yeah, they fuck sheep. They
Yeah.
kilts.
Kilts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something.
They sure don't kiss the Blarney Stone though.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck the Blarney Stone. Anyway,
What
they
are we
hate
doing?
the Blarney Stone.
What the
They
fuck is
fucking
wrong with
hate it.
Let's go.
Scottish people, Scottish listeners, write in. Tell us, what are the things you do?
Swear.
Not leprechauns. I know it's not leprechauns. Potatoes, no. I mean, do the Scottish people just hate the Irish for really fucking... They took all the good shit, the Irish. When they were doing the draft for like iconic stereotypes for your
right.
culture, they're like,
I mean, really, what the
you took
Scots have
potatoes.
is being like vulgar, right? Because like you could be like, you know what, Scotch people do drink a lot, but you know who drinks more? Is the Irish.
That's right, fucking right. What about Mary, Queen of Scots?
Okay. That's somebody.
Yeah. All right, okay. Now we should get back to the
Let's
episode.
get off that. We could go. Okay, so they're in the barn, and Cassie gets a call so that she's going to be on the show. They want her on the show and Rachel too because they saved the kid, right? Immediately,
Goat in the water.
Goat in the water. Immediately, I gotta say, wardrobe people finally got the memo. Cassie is wearing this massively oversized denim jacket that is just covered with dirt stains, and it's good. That's what I want. In fact,
I'm glad you're happy.
Even earlier, right? She's got this like plain white T-shirt that's like it's a good like walking the fine line where it's like, okay, it's stylish enough that the Abercrombie people or whatever the fuck it was?
Gap. It's Gap.
The Gap people. I don't know why I'm going. The Gap people aren't going to be pissed off that she looks like shit, but like it's also plain enough that it doesn't look like she's dressing up. I think I feel like the wardrobe people kind of got Cassie this time.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Later on, when she is going on the show, she's also just wearing overalls.
Yeah, she's got her baggy overalls. Now, I will say, I'm not going to stop my criticisms. There's only so far you can. This is as far as you can expect them to go, but it is kind of funny seeing her like perfectly made up face with the lipstick and the eyeliner and the blush, and then she's wearing this like shitty jacket covered in dirt. Like it feels a little bit at odds with each other, but you can't really go up to the actress and be like, "We're not putting you in makeup for this scene. Fuck you."
Yeah, she does have earrings. That doesn't feel quite right to me.
Yeah, what if a horse
Um,
grabbed one and pulled it out, or a
yeah, what
bird
if it
pecked it?
fell? Yeah, what if it fell while she was giving a goose a suppository?
Right. Yeah. What if the earring went up a goose's ass? Yeah, that's a good, real concern right there.
Her hair is up, by the way.
Yeah, hair
Just
up.
to
Hmm.
hair up the whole episode. I think you're right about she looks too like made up and
Hmm.
pretty. I haven't been as harsh on her like lack of dirt
Hmm.
all over her or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck.
But you know what? The somebody in wardrobe realized she needed dirt all over her.
Good for
We're
them.
on the same page now. They smeared shit all over her jacket, and now it looks right.
If anything, maybe Rachel doesn't look glamorous enough. Like maybe her outfits aren't stylish enough.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, right? Like Rachel needs something to characterize her, right? Her
She
outfits
does.
are not characterizing her.
I actually think her outfit is kind of cool for the show. Well, we'll
Hmm.
get to later, but yeah, yeah,
I mean,
maybe they
for
need to
by
step it
Canada
up.
standards, she's like a model,
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I think the actress literally was a model. I don't know,
fashionista.
maybe not at this time, but she became one.
I
Um,
mean, style wise, but
right. Here's something that I thought about this scene with the two of them in the
yes.
barn.
Uh
That the acting sucked ass.
huh. Uh huh. Uh huh.
It's real bad. I mean, it's Cassie and Cassie's actress has been fine, if not good, for most of the
Hmm.
show. But and so maybe Brooke Nevin's dragging her down. Sorry, Brooke. I'm sorry. I know you're listening, and I'm sorry,
Hmm.
but I'm sure you grew into a better acting ability. I'm sure, but I haven't watched. Like first Cassie on the phone. I don't believe she's talking to anyone on the phone. Rachel is like jumping up and down, like, who is it? It's like, Rachel, shut the fuck up. She's on the phone. Wait 5 seconds for her to get off the damn phone.
Yeah.
The
Well, they're trying
banter
to
is
be like
not
giddy
good.
fangirls, right? You know, that's
Yeah, but she doesn't know what the phone call
right.
is
Yeah.
yet. She has no idea. And yeah, just all the deliveries in this scene I thought were just shit.
Yeah. Not. I mean, not unreasonable. Listen. I I don't think you're wrong. I didn't hate it, and I think part of it was the fact that Rachel and Cassie were interacting with no other characters, and there was like some kind of back and forth there. And it's like, God, that is anything for Rachel to do. Thank you.
Yeah,
Excited to go on a TV show? Man, that's a character trait.
that's I suppose you could call it that. Being generous.
I have to
Um
be, but you're
here's
not
a
wrong.
here's a positive I'll say,
Hmm.
which I think for the whole episode, the morphing effects in this episode pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a
When
fan.
we There's a lot of sequences, including here, where you see partially Cassie is turning into a gator,
Hmm.
and looks pretty good. And later you see her full on morph into a gator, and I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, I really like the full on thing. We'll talk about it when we get to it. But yeah, this looks good too when it's just her arm and it turns into like gator pattern skin. Like it's
Yeah,
good. I'm glad we get to
it's
see some
simple.
morphing.
Yeah, it works, and it's important for the episode. It's not different animals, but it kind of makes
Hmm.
equal sense for it to be just we keep saying gator. It's a croc. They're
Yeah, it
fucking
is a croc. We
crocodiles.
should be saying croc. Well, the
American crocs.
yeah. I mean, the problem is that a croc's just not that good. But what could be
Hmm.
greater than morphs of a gator?
What could be greater than morphing into a gator? Little
Uh,
secret for the song parody writers out there. If you aren't
uh-huh,
sure of how to fill the
mhm.
right amount of syllables, just say one syllable and then just wait.
Yeah, just lampshade the fact that you did it bad, and then it's okay.
Hmm.
I was
That's
kind of
hilarious.
wondering if I was going to get a what would be greater than golf with a gator parody at the beginning of this ep, but we didn't.
Well, they were Crocs, so I wasn't on that
Right.
page.
No, that makes sense. I get it. I get it.
I would never do that.
Yeah, never.
Hmm.
How do you feel about Cassie answering the phone? This is she.
Um. Yeah, now that you mention it, this is she is. I guess that's fine.
Okay. I
Is this a
have done that, but that's
landline?
an like old person thing.
Well, I can believe Cassie doing it because this feels very like polite and
Yeah, yeah.
you know. Um, this is a phone in the barn. So is it also ringing in the house? Why is there a phone in the barn? Honestly,
Haven't haven't we? I feel like you've asked this question before. I feel like they have answered the phone in the barn before, and you were like, "Why?"
in the show,
In the show, I swear it's come. Maybe I'm.
maybe. I
I
don't
don't know.
remember, or maybe it was the book. I guess you could say, oh, they're like emergency animals. They get calls if there's
Yeah,
a hawk with a broken wing or something.
yeah. Like
But
if the parents are out here for 6 hours straight and they need a call, I don't know.
yeah, yeah, sure. It just seemed like a specialty order. Most barns don't have phones in them,
Right,
probably.
right.
Whatever.
Whatever. All right. Are we
Hoy
done?
hoy.
This. God, we're fucking.
We're gonna be
We're.
fine. It's time for Siberia.
It's time for Siberia. We're back to Siberia. Why do they keep talking about the plot in Siberia and not in the barn? I don't know. It's so we can keep seeing Siberia. So we
This
can
is a
keep
cool
seeing
hangout.
this fucking guy. How do you feel about this guy when we go in here and he's like, he is playing the fuck out of this like alien blue alien spaceship game?
I missed this guy. I didn't pay attention to a
Yeah, just
guy.
like go to the like
Oh yeah,
literally the scene transition.
he's getting into it. He's
He's
having
into it.
fun.
I like him.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
pretty intense. Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool guy.
it's my fault we're dragging on too. It's not just you.
Right. Well, it's not me at all, really.
All
They're
right.
eating nachos. Marco's eating nachos. That's cool.
Yeah, Marco does not have his orange jacket.
Yeah, that's bullshit. He is funny though. He is funny in
Oh,
this scene.
yeah, he is really fucking funny in this scene. But here's the problem. Marco in his gray tight t-shirt with his pecs bursting out and everything. He
Fuck.
looks like too cool, and Marco should look more swag than cool. You know what I mean? He needs his drip,
Mm,
right? He looks like, you know what I mean? Like Marco's not
mm,
like a magazine model, right? Marco's like
right.
risen you up on the street.
Right. Marco's like Roger from Sister Sister.
Okay.
He's like the next, he's like overconfident to make up for his like height, his
Hmm.
lack of height,
Right, right.
He's like he's not the coolest, most popular kid. He's kind of short. So to compensate for that, he's like extra funny and suave.
Hmm.
But so you need to see that low self-esteem underneath the bravado.
I see. Yeah,
And
he needs to be a little vulnerable.
yeah, and maybe this Marco is like just too cool.
Yeah. You got to tone it down, Boris. I know you're, you know, I know
Yeah.
you're like probably the craziest motherfucker Chad IRL, but you got to pretend here for a second that maybe you're a little.
Yeah. God, do you think these actors ever do signings at conventions? I'm sure maybe Sean Ashmore's done it for X-Men and stuff.
I
But
listen. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these people have small enough careers that you could get them on a podcast. Not Sean Ashmore, but you
yeah,
might
but
be able to. Maybe
maybe
we could get
Aaron
a Marco.
Ashmore. Yeah,
Maybe we
maybe
could get
Sean
a
Levy.
Marco interview, and then he'll have to leave very quickly because he'll be like, "I'm uncomfortable with how much you two are drooling over me."
I was a child then. um, anyway,
Oh
there's so
God.
much abuse in Hollywood. What? We got to talk about the Larry and Linda homepage.
Oh, we certainly do. This fucking website. Oh my God. Yeah, because Rachel is on the Larry and Linda website to and she's seeing them that their show listing.
Yes, which I guess they update it pretty fast because there's a special. It's like within a frame, if you remember frames,
Hmm.
and then you just click
Yeah, not
links
like
and there's a,
yeah. Let's make sure it's not a frame like of time, right? Like it's like a frame on the website, like a little iframe.
it's like right, it's like an embedded
Yeah,
on the page is the same, but the frame changes.
right.
Good lord, God, I remember fucking like websites would have the option for frames or no frames.
I do remember that shit.
That is, how could you ever explain that to anyone? I don't even understand it now.
Yeah,
What
I
the
mean, I had to
fuck?
deal with that shit when I took like a HTML class in like sixth grade or some shit, and I
Yeah,
had to learn
yeah.
about fucking frames.
Yeah, dude. I was an HTML wizard and I was framing
Mm-hmm.
it up on my websites. I loved frames. I was like, holy shit. The frame stays the same. You navigate via the links. This is magic.
Crazy. Now, to be fair, I'm pretty sure the links are supposed to be pretty small and the frame's supposed to be big. Like, I don't think that the links are supposed to be, 70% of the page, and then the frame is this tiny little thing along the side with giant ass font in it.
It is. It's so ridiculous. The screen real estate usage. Fire your web designer, Larry and Linda. Fire your graphic designer because the fucking logo of
Yeah.
Larry and Linda Live sucks
Yeah,
ass.
we see it again when they go to the show, and it still sucks ass then, too. Who do you think
It's
these people are that they got headshots of to be Larry and Linda?
That's a good question because we don't actually get to see them or the show. And in the book, you do actually see the show, don't you?
Yeah,
Like
I mean, yeah, we see like a little one or two lines or something. Something.
I thought, yeah, but yeah, the logo font just looks like the most basic paint shop. They did like a warp effect on both of the names, and it just looks
Yeah,
like complete shit.
it's really bad.
Larry and Linda do not like that. Must be just some writer
Yeah,
and his wife or something. But maybe
yeah.
that's Graham.
I mean, can I talk about these fucking? These links are also insane. Like both the order and the distribute. Like there's upcoming shows, tomorrow's show as a separate thing, upcoming
Yeah.
guests as separate from upcoming shows, about Larry, about Linda. That's two different pages, and home, which is last. Like what? Who the fuck? What is this? And as you said, that's 70% of the screen is those six links. Like what the fuck?
There's also an asterisk in front of each
Yeah,
link for some reason.
they didn't know how to put a bullet point in HTML, so they just had to type an
Right.
asterisk.
Because you needed either of those things.
Right, you did.
And so what is, because they're clicked on tomorrow's show and they read about themselves.
Yeah.
So what's in upcoming guests? Aren't they the upcoming guests?
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. That just says Cassie and Rachel. Oh, I just noticed it says today at City Zoo. So that's where they were. They were at City Zoo.
City Zoo.
City Zoo. More like shitty
City
zoo.
Zoo. That's good. But
Thank
what
you.
is that? That's not the name of a zoo. No zoo is just called City Zoo. That's like a temp thing they never changed.
This is okay. No, this is the we can't tell you our names. It's probably the actual name of the city. This is
Right.
Toronto Zoo, but
Right.
can't tell you what city we're in.
Oh my god. It is yeah. I like the font choice on the those links too.
You like it? You think
It
it's
just
good?
looks it's like familiar to me. I don't know if
Hmm.
you recognize it,
I
but I
don't.
recognized it.
I don't know if I recognize it. I don't know
I'll
that
tell
it's
you after the
good.
show. I'll tell you after the show. Might be a little secret.
Does that mean it's not appropriate to say on the show?
Well, just it wouldn't make sense to anyone but us.
Ah,
That's
okay,
all.
okay. I do also like this fucking browser because it has these little tabs up top you can click on. This is mail.
Yeah, I
What's
think they've
new?
had these
What's
before.
cool? Destinations. Net search. And what the fuck's this last one? Welcome.
Yeah. The internet. That's what it was like.
The internet. Yeah, I guess this is like an AOL thing or something. You can click on like what's new, and it'll show you what's new on the internet on your from your browser.
It's Netscape Navigator.
I mean, it's laid out like Netscape Navigator, but I don't think that that ever gave you a what's cool keyword or
I don't
something.
know. They might have.
Maybe.
I
Could
still
be.
have that.
Can I say I really like the bit here? Rachel and Cassie are like freaking out over the show, and it just cuts back to Jake and Marco being unimpressed, and Marco's like, Nacho? And Jake's like, eh. And then it goes back to the girl. I really like that. That's good. They
Yeah.
just don't give a fuck you. We do not care about our friends going on TV. How dare they be happy? We don't get to go on TV.
Yeah. Well, they're jealous of John Jason McCall or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But
I mean,
it is funny.
this is. Oh, here's the name. Bart Jacobs is the animal guy on the show, which they mention here.
Oh,
They
okay.
mention very briefly here that they're also going to have an animal guy, Bart Jacobs, on. And if you caught that, which you probably didn't, then it will make sense that Marco turns into a llama at the end. And if you didn't, you're going to be like, why is Marco a llama?
Well, there was a llama in the scene right before this in
In the
Cassie's
barn.
barn.
So they
So
just
I
add
actually
one.
thought that was he just took that.
Yeah. Well, he might
So
have just, I don't know.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so Bart Jacobs, same name as the animal guy in the book. Why? Why did they change all the other ones and keep that one? What is the decision process here?
And why did they even mention him at all?
Yeah,
He
right?
doesn't
Like,
show up. It doesn't matter.
well, otherwise you would question why Marco turns into a llama. It would be a plot hole.
Right, right. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah. Uh, Here's where we really start to see the Jake and Rachel in this episode.
Yep. Yeah. So Cassie and Rachel are fangirling,
Yeah.
and Rachel's like, "Are you jealous that we're gonna go see Jason John McCole, Jake?"
Yeah, she's like really into it. And Jake is like, well, he's not as cute as me, right? Now, notably, he doesn't say this to Cassie. He says this to Rachel.
I think he's addressing them both.
Maybe he is, but he's kind of like got his arm around Cassie, but he's looking right at Rachel, and she's flirting with him, and just I don't know about all this.
Oh, I think you know about all this.
I think I do know about all this.
I will say this: every time they say Jason John McCole, I get pissed off.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate it. I really don't like it. Stop saying it.
It sucks. It fucking sucks. And especially, I hate it even more when they just start calling him Jason. Because they say that a
Yeah.
couple times, and I'm like, why?
Like many things in this show,
Yeah,
no clear answers.
no clear
I
answers.
I did like right after this when Jake leaves the both Marco and Jake return from where Cassie and Rachel are sitting to their other booth, and they do it synchronized,
Yeah,
like simultaneously. They slide into the seats in the exact same way.
they're bros.
Yeah, they really are. They really are.
This is right after Rachel's like, Jake, don't tell me you're jealous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What about what about this part where Cassie says Jason McCall and Visser 3? I can't believe it. And just like there's no mention of Visser 3, we only know it's like the sharing or the Yerks or whatever. And the way it's phrased, it really sounds like Cassie just found out they were fucking. God, can you believe Jason McCall and Visser 3 on the Day Breeze?
Yeah, that is what happened on the day breeze.
Uh, all right.
All right, we're
We're
mostly done with
dragging
this
this out.
episode.
This
I
is a
think.
problem.
I don't know. I think we're pretty much done. Then Cassie runs into Tom in the library.
Yeah, she does some crocodile morph. Honestly, the back spikes she has look pretty good, I think.
Yeah, that like as she's talking to him, she's like nervous and she starts growing. And yeah, like underneath her shirt
Yeah.
and her back, you see like croc skin bulging out.
Yeah. And they
Yeah,
keep
it's
it
pretty
there too.
good.
Like it's not just like it shows up for one CGI scene. They put something physical under there because there's a number of scenes where she's talking with him and she's got to kind of keep her back turned away from him so he doesn't notice.
Yeah, pretty good.
Put the effort in. Now, in the books, this was the scene between Chapman and Rachel where
Mm.
she like morphed bare feet and then pretended they were the latest fashion or whatever. Um and I thought about this here because I was like, okay, so they made this all Tom, so Tom's still in the story. It's been a while since we've seen Chapman, and we did actively exclude him from the books. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not getting Melissa back based on that.
We might not even get Chapman back.
We might not even get Chapman back.
It is weird that he hasn't been around for a while.
See ya. I mean,
Like,
at least we're getting more Tom.
right, like that's the good thing, but you
Mhm.
know, you can't gain something without losing something else, I guess. I mean,
Right.
you could, but they aren't.
When God opens a window, he closes a door.
Right. I can't help but notice that in this school library they have a home improvement section
That's a little odd.
with like 4 dummies books on the shelf
Yeah,
behind
fucking
Tom.
Cassie is over here fucking picking up books to learn about crocodiles, which first of all, why does Cassie need to do that? And she picks up this like reptiles book that's like for goddamn 8-year-olds or some shit. It's one of
Well,
these
they're
like big
kids.
info books with the like little like pictures and then like the big, bubbles with the text in them. This is not something you would read past the age of like 11 at the latest.
Now, hold on. Is this supposed to be the library? Because maybe this is just a bookstore.
This has got to be a library, right?
But some of these books on these shelves are like, I mean, I think clearly they filmed this in a bookstore.
That could be,
Because
yeah.
some of the books on these shelves are in plastic, I'm noticing. And just from the look of it from behind them, it does not look like a library. It looks more like a retail store.
That's
Um,
fair. But like what? So so
do they
Cassie went to
say?
a bookstore to find a book on crocodiles and Tom just happened to be at the bookstore. Like if they were in the school library, I
Yeah.
believe that. But
Yeah, that makes more sense. But now I'm not sure. Like, I don't think they actually say. Maybe
I
they do.
don't know.
I also like that Tom is like, yeah, I heard you saved that kid. Yeah, I didn't think Rachel would do it. What a
Yeah,
bitch.
like what the fuck? Rachel would have been the one I don't.
No, because Rachel, all we know about Rachel on this show is that she loves fashion and shopping.
She
So
likes
that's
boys too. That's also a big
she's
part of it.
obsessed with that. She would
She
never.
fucking
She's not selfless.
Yeah, like she does her most of her emoting in this episode being like Jason John McCall. Which, that's not untrue to the books, but it is untrue to the books that that's the most she's ever emoted ever.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right, all
back
right.
to
We,
the barn.
we can go to this barn. I have a lot of notes about how Tobias needs to shut the fuck up in this scene. He's very vocal.
In terms of his hawk
Yeah,
noises, you
his
mean?
screeching noises. Yeah, I never say that when he talks for real. It's always when just I don't need these hawk screeches constantly.
He does have a really good joke here.
Hmm. Yeah, he does. He does.
And Marco makes some joke about like, oh, we interrupt your show to bring you something new, like because to
Yeah.
talk about the sharing or whatever. And Tobias says, the Yerk Files.
Pretty
And
good.
Marco goes, whoa, Bird Boy got a sense of humor. And
Yeah,
I'm going,
I
did
need-
he?
Listen, I need more back and forth between Marco and Tobias.
Sure. I don't know that the Yerk Files is the best case for him telling a funny joke.
Well, it doesn't have to be funny.
It's pretty,
It
it's
can be
kind of weak.
shitty.
Also, I
Why
like
didn't
when
we
he
call
said
ourselves
that,
the Yerk Files? Yeah.
when Tobias gives his remark, his hawk beak is just hanging wide open.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's funny. Like he's doing thought speak, but his mouth is just open
Yeah,
as
the
if
bird's
he's
got his
saying
fucking
it.
mouth open a lot. I'm pretty sure this bird is tied down again, strapped to the
Yeah,
rafters.
yeah. God damn, look at Marco's arms. Anyway,
Yeah. No, he really
his
is like
watch, too.
bursting out of that shirt.
Oh my god. All right, we gotta really We got to calm down and
It's
keep going here.
listen, it's Christmas, so we can treat
Axe is
ourselves a little
here.
bit. What?
Christmas, more like Xmas. Xmas, more like Axmas.
Yeah, Axe is here. I do like immediately fucking Jake says something about like flipping a switch and Axe just immediately goes switch. That's
Yeah,
good.
right. Yeah,
We
yeah,
love
yeah.
those.
And it's not, they don't overplay it. It's
Right.
just there.
It's
It's
just there.
nice.
It's nice. Jake and Rachel getting extremely cozy, sitting next to each other here.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Right. They're just cousins. Just
You know how
cousins.
close cousins are.
Oh, I know about that, especially during the holiday season.
That's right. Kissing cousins, they call it.
Do they? That's not what they call it in my
I've heard it
family.
before.
Okay. I'm sure you
Interesting.
have.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll send
Cassie
you some
does her
stuff.
morph.
Right. Cassie's now freaking out because she's
Yeah.
allergic.
She's morphing uncontrollably, and this morph is good. This morph is good. The back and forth on it, we get this nice side profile of her face going in and out. There's a good series of shots I like where she kind of like clutches her stomach and falls to the ground, and they kind of cut on the motion to the croc doing a little thrash it, and I think it flows well. There's a good bit where the croc opens its mouth and they zoom in on the mouth and then like blur it into Cassie's mouth and zoom back out. Like, I think it works well.
Yeah. And notably, as her head is turning into a croc,
Mhm.
the camera does move.
Yeah. Yeah, like that is part of what makes it so good is that it's not just that they do the effect, like they integrate some kind of camera motion into it. It works good.
It's really good. I do think there's a second where you see the croc with its mouth open, and I feel like the croc is going ha cha 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 or something. You know, he's got
I believe it. I believe it.
just doing a little like, hey, it's me, yeah, cha 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 cha. He's
Listen,
having fun.
the croc's not exactly intimidating, but
No, he looks like a funny. He's about to do like a
Yeah.
dance with a cane and a top hat or something. I mean, like Cassie's got like sweat on her face when she comes back. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good sequence
yeah, like this is put together well. This is what I'd like to see more morphing look like.
for sure. Then she finds out. We discover Axe tells us what's going on.
Yeah, about the Hereth Illint.
Is that what it's called in the book?
I believe so. That sounds
Okay.
right.
And Cassie, he explains it, and Cassie replies, "That makes sense." Which I'm like, okay, I don't remember my reaction to the book if I've just memory hold it that it's like explained better in the book. But on the show, when After X says it, oh yeah, you're probably some people are allergic to a morph. It's like, no, it doesn't make sense. That makes as much sense as you rubbing a magnetic card on your fur to do whatever the fuck you did to it.
Well, I'm pretty sure the explanation given in the book is almost exactly the same as the show. That,
but they must elaborate more.
I don't think they do. Some people are allergic to it. There's a Hereth Illint that translates to burping DNA. You'll burp up a crocodile. I think that's about all they gave. I might be wrong, but
at least they like take more time to say those things.
I wonder. Wonder.
Even at bare minimum, there's a more like, you know, POV narration from Rachel in between, like ruminating on it. It's just said like in one sentence, and then they're just like, I guess that's what it is. Doopity doo. I don't know. I mean, it's silly. It's not that, honestly, that crazy of a concept, especially for Animorphs. Like, I believe it, but something about the way he says it and she immediately just goes, that makes sense, is like, no, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, no, Axe does not say much more than that, but at least the other Animorphs don't say, oh, okay, that makes sense. They're like, wait, what? What are you talking about? What the heck?
Right. Yeah.
What are you saying?
What it is.
But it's like when you humans suddenly make violent exhalations through your nostrils and shout achoo, he says.
Yeah, I make some violent exhalations. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Oh, Axe also specifies here that Andalites don't have phrases like vomiting because they don't have mouths. so they use the word hereth instead.
Sure, it makes perfect sense too.
That makes sense.
That makes
I didn't
sense.
even fucking catch the "that makes sense" line, but it is very funny. I was a little bit more interested in the bit where Axe says it might take 2 weeks, and Marco, Rachel, and Jake in unison say, 2 weeks?
Oh, is it just I feel like it's all 5 of them say that.
I don't think Tobias does. Maybe Cassie does, and I missed it.
Maybe not. Well,
But it
Tobias,
cuts
who knows what
between.
Tobias.
I mean, it cuts between them. It's fucking crazy. It's a great. I'm pretty sure at one point in the past we were talking about something, and you said something to the effect of like, if you ever are writing something and you have 2 characters
Mm.
say the same thing at the same time, maybe consider not having them do that.
Yeah, no, yeah, that is something that happened a few times I remember in the books where it would just be like, whatever Marco and Jake both said in unison,
Yeah.
which is like, which is fine to write it, but then when you actually imagine that happening, you're like, wait, that's fucking stupid. Like
Yeah.
people don't do that.
Yeah. Well, in this case, they wanted the impact of it. They just like, no, that's the
2
scene we want.
weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
They also
God
get really
damn.
caught up on the actual process of Harith Illand, which is kind of weird. Like this, well, Cassie can't go on the show because she might burp up a crocodile in the middle of it, and not like we kind of forget that. Well, she can't go on the show because she might start uncontrollably morphing into a crocodile until she does the burp. It's weird,
Yeah, I mean,
but
there's a whole lot of issues potentially.
yeah, there are.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
whatever.
One thing, something
Yeah,
else I noticed about this episode. I
yeah.
feel like the rate of refs went way up
Oh
this
yeah, there's a
week.
lot of refs. Yeah, there's going to be more refs coming after York Files here.
I did not make a note. There was another one right here. I didn't make a note of them all, but I was like, boy, they're
Yeah.
really riffing the refs.
Yeah, they go to they're outside the studio cuz they go there cuz I don't know, Cassie called Rachel and Rachel thought whatever. Basically told her that she did the thing. They're at the studio and Marco says, "This is like the rebels going in to blow up the Death Star generator."
Yeah.
Which is kind of I mean, my immediate thought is by rebels, do you mean Obi-Wan Kenobi? Is that cuz like the rebels didn't do that.
Yeah. Well, I also, if you watch when he says that, Jake is so happy. Like he's really excited about the reference. He's smiling and nodding, like, yeah, it is like that, Marco. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, if you were friends with Marco and he made a reference, how would you
Yeah.
react? You know?
I mean, honestly, in real life, if someone is just like, hey, that looks like a stormtrooper, I'm probably going to get up and clap and cheer.
Yeah. And then everyone
Yeah. Woo.
Here's Larry and Linda again. I'm looking at it. Christ almighty.
Larry and Linda, the Banner King and Queen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's a great I loved this bit, where Jake asks Cassie, "How are you feeling?" And Marco says, "I'm bummed." That's good. That's fucking funny. Marco's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Marco is really funny.
Yeah, it's good. Another shot of teenagers running behind a building with exciting music. Love when that happens.
I'm just
Uh,
watching the show right now. Sorry, I'm a little caught up in it.
That's fair. That's fair. In the makeup room, we meet Jeremy. We meet Jason. Fucking fuck you, Jason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we alluded to this earlier, but their
Mhm.
outfits for the appearance on the show.
Mhm, mhm.
Cassie, white t-shirt, denim overalls. Done.
Yeah.
Rachel, this is where I think Rachel looks kind of cool. She's got jeans, but she's got like a white shirt and a blazer, kind of.
Yeah, something like that.
It's kind of cool, actually. I think it's kind of cool. Like a is it a button-down shirt or just got a collar? I think.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah, it's
quite.
it's like a white dress shirt with like
Mhm.
a black or dark blue blazer over it. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. The way that they've got
But
them set up here.
I can't help but feel like they're in the makeup room. Somebody would be telling Cassie, we need to get you to wardrobe. You're not wearing those overalls on our show.
I mean, honestly, that would be a good addition. I don't know if that's in the books, but it would really be a good addition to have somebody say that to her.
They need
Especially if
to.
they put dirt on the overalls too, the way they did on the.
Yeah, somebody should.
These are
But
the only
hey,
pair of overalls I have without animal shit on them.
what are you gonna do? But yeah. Then you meet Jason John McCall, and he sucks. He sucks. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, he says something about them being Crocodile Dundees, so there's another ref.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, they get a lot.
Yeah. He makes fun of Cassie because she's nervous.
Yeah,
What a dick.
yeah.
Episode's basically over now, right?
I mean, basically, Cassie's got to burp up the gator. Like this part's fine, but like here's the thing. Now
Oh,
we get this burping up the gator in the bathroom scene.
yeah.
Which I didn't mind this one either, because, like, yeah, they don't show it, but how are you gonna fucking show it? They do this nice little, like, rumbling effect on the bathroom door, and they dangle, like, a fake crocodile tail down from under the stall. It's kind of fun.
It's fine. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that then the crocodile comes out, and you can see it in relation to the bathroom stall, and you can see that, yes, it is, in fact, quite small.
Quite small, but hey, it's still a croc.
Sure.
Can I give something I thought of earlier? We were talking about how in the book, Rachel had the bare feet, and she said these are the new shoes or whatever.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Well, in what they could have done here is it could have been crocodile feet, and she could have said these are my new Crocs.
That would have been kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd have kind of laughed at that.
yeah.
Marco's a good, funny llama.
Marco's a llama for no explanation. He's just here. He is as a llama.
Yeah. No,
Everyone else is a roach.
Yeah.
I also don't know why they're roaches.
Listen, in the books, there was a funny animals guy coming on the show, and Marco turned into his llama, and there was a whole little bit how everyone was paying attention to him, and he was hamming it up for the cameras and enjoying himself, and it was great. Here he's just a llama. I don't know.
He's just a llama because they had a llama.
Yeah.
That's just what he also like. It doesn't even matter. Like, do
Yeah.
the other Animorphs do anything in this scene?
Yeah, no, I think that they were supposed to be breaking in. Jake says they have a plan. They're going to, like, shut off the power mid-interview so he can't tell people about the sharing, but it doesn't matter because Cassie burps up her croc and then that ruins it, so it doesn't. But I think that's not actually different either. Except that in the
Yeah.
books, I think Rachel turns into a bear and fights the croc, which we didn't need.
Right. Here, you really don't need at all if you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
even a full-grown crocodile is like, sure, you don't want to like get up in its business, but it's not like a shooter or something. Like, it's like a big building. As long as you're not trapped in a small room with it, it's not that scary. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see this thing coming after you in most cases, if it's like on land in an unfamiliar environment. But I
Yeah.
don't know. That being said, this thing is just not that scary. Like,
But
if this thing got its jaws on me, I would be the one dragging it and not the other way around because it is too small.
it's just a baby. But that is not the reaction of the crew of the Larry and Linda live show.
No, they freak out.
There is one crew member.
Crocodile!
This one lady with a headset does a really good panicked scream and run when she
She's
finds
great.
out.
I like it. Everyone's panicking. Fucking Jason passes out in his chair. And the Yerk, I guess, escapes and is trying to get away so it doesn't get eaten.
Okay, now we can't just say that like it's just a thing that happens. This part is crazy.
Okay, talk to me about this.
Because they're just, it's like you blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
There's just like one sentence where you see him passed out and Jake or somebody is like, oh, the Yerk must have left his ear. And then you see for like a second a shot of a slug on his leg.
Slug on his foot or whatever. Yeah.
But
Now-
it's like, but this isn't,
Yeah.
I guess a Yerk could do, but I don't, would it do this? I don't. It's
Yeah,
not the croc is like in a different room.
yeah. Yeah, no, like it is very it looks so silly to have this you have these shots of this croc which is obviously very small and then these shots of fucking Jason passed out on the chair and Cassie and Rachel are like shaking him like wake up, wake up, wake up. And it's supposed to be this high tension scene and it just looks so fucking stupid.
But
Yeah, I
then,
mean in the book I do think the Yerk bails on him if I'm remembering which one of these talk shows is which, but I also think that Rachel fights the crocodile. The other Animorphs morph. There's chaos. There's controllers who want to shoot them. They're obviously Andalites, and they're like, "We're taking you hostage, Yerk." And they're like, it's like the Yerk thinks he's gonna die. Like it's a
yeah,
lot more than just there's a croc. There it is.
yeah. In this
You could just
scenario,
leave.
it
Everyone
does
else in
not.
the room literally just left.
Yeah, it's not. I guess the idea is, oh, my host passed out, but also, how did your host pass
Yeah,
out? Don't you have control
yeah.
over that aspect of them? It,
I don't.
it doesn't make sense. And you think you're going to be better off crawling around on the floor as a slug? Like, what's your next move? Where are you
Yeah,
going to go?
yeah.
You're hoping that Visser 3 comes and finds you?
Yeah, I mean, oddly, this is just kind of the end of it, right? Like the crocodiles here, I guess it eats the yerk, whatever. But like the show is ruined because there was a crocodile and that's it. Where are the other controllers to back this guy? Like they literally were just like, we'll put a yerk in that one guy, send him to a talk show. None of the other staff are going to be controllers. Nobody there's going to be a controller except him. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. He doesn't like where
Yeah.
is why aren't there people coming out here like Croc is an Andalite? Shoot it.
Right. Yes. There's no handlers. Yes. There should be
Yeah.
some flashlights pointed at this
Should be
thing.
flashlights, you're right.
It's very odd. But the episode's over. We got to go. Even though actually they still have 2 minutes left. They could have done more,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
they had to tie things up with the rest of the ending.
right, right. We have to tie things up. They're back at Siberia. Yeah, they wrap it up. Marco, like, I don't fucking know. The whole he quit show business and went to Tibet,
Oh wait,
follow the
did we
Dalai Lama.
did we skip over that the crocodile eats the yerk?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yes, the crocodile eats the yerk. I think I mentioned it, but yeah, I mean, they zoom in on its mouth and go, "The yerk doesn't stand a chance," or
Yeah, it's
something.
okay. It's what the
Sucks.
fuck's going on there? Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure you said what the fuck. Okay.
Yeah, it sucks.
Um yeah, they have the lamest food fight of all time.
I mean,
Cass
I do like that Marco makes a stupid joke, and then Rachel and Cassie throw food at him, and then they throw food at Jake too. It's nice. It
Okay,
is
I
lame, but it's
guess
kind of nice, you know.
I guess yes, it's cute in
They're lame
concept
kids
and
hanging out.
sure. Yeah, I guess I can give it to them. Poor Axe and Tobias don't get to hang out with them, but
No,
that's fine. They're off fucking into the scoop or something.
Tobias could
Um
just teleport into Siberia whenever he wants. I don't know why he doesn't do that, but
you really should. Do you notice that in the windows of Siberia they have a fake space backdrop? That's actually kind of sick.
that is kind of cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what?
I'm looking at that now. That's kind of badass.
Yeah, it's like you're on a spaceship. I would go there all the time.
You think it's the same backdrop they're gonna use when they go on like a dome ship?
Yeah, this probably is the interior of the dome ship.
Yeah.
They just remove the tables and nachos.
Yeah. More Marco. Marco does like another Obi-Wan reference. I think he might have watched A New
Right.
Hope recently.
Yeah, he's really into
Another
it right
funny
now.
joke where they're all like, "We all learned. We I don't even remember. Was it like we all learned a valuable lesson, or we all could be better?" And Marco's like, "Well, except for me, I'm perfect," or some shit. I don't know. It's
Oh,
good.
does he say that?
He's
I
funny.
just remember then Cassie wraps it up with a concluding voiceover that sounds like a very special episode
Yeah.
PSA about lying.
Yeah, it fucking I do have the whole thing written down here
Wow.
cuz yeah, it sucks. She says morphing does have a lot of rules, but more important are human rules. When I lied to my friends about the allergy, I not only let them down, I let myself down. But as long as we can still learn from our mistakes, things have a funny way of working out in the end.
So you see, the intro monologue was
Yeah,
necessary.
the rules thing cuz she
The
lied.
rules. That's
It's the
right.
most generic slop interpretation of the book 12 plot. It's literally just a guy who's like, yeah, I wrote an episode for a kid's show before. I know how it's but she lied, right? So that's bad. So that's what it is.
That
Yeah.
all that kind of feels like a studio note. Like we need to. This is for kids. You add something to make sure there's a lesson involved.
Right, there's got to be a fucking lesson. It sucks. This final freeze frame of Cassie they end on is legitimately unsettling. I don't like it. It looks like it's from a horror movie or maybe like a documentary about a missing girl, and this is like the scare. It. I don't like it.
I like it.
How
That's
do
the
you feel about this
episode.
episode?
Um, I,
Uh-huh.
I think it's extremely middle of the road for this
Mhm.
show. If it weren't for the swap of characters that they do, there would be almost nothing to even talk about
Mhm.
because it's just very much like, yeah, it's pretty close to the book without all the stuff that they obviously couldn't do in the show. So you just kind of end up with like, yeah, it's okay. It's not embarrassing, but it's not really good. It's just kind of
Yeah.
they're doing their thing.
Yeah, like you will notice if you paid attention to our conversation, which I don't know why you did that, but that we had a whole huge conversation about why the fuck they made the swap, and then everything else was just riffing on details that were shitty and stupid.
Yeah, nothing else really matters.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that they did the swap, but it's also would have been better if they didn't. But
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
bizarre.
No, very middle of the road. I mean, listen, I like that we're getting episodes that aren't just like Jake, Marco, and Axe. I'm glad Cassie has an episode and she's fine in
Yes,
it. I
yes. Everyone
wish,
was represented here.
yeah, everyone was represented. That's kind of nice. Rachel got to do anything, but it was a letdown because it wasn't what she should have been doing. I still think there is a decent chance that I liked this episode more than I would have had they done the swap because it might have been bad because they don't know how to do Rachel. Even though,
Mm,
like, clearly that's what you should do, but
who
y-
knows?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. But it does feel like, as we were saying, I'm even more curious now to find out what is going to happen next because we are running out of these more basic plots. I
Mhm.
mean, it's funny to call this a basic plot when reading the book. It's like
Yeah.
it's still fucking batshit, but
Yeah.
but
Well,
you know,
I wish I could tell by the names of the episodes whether
we
they're
don't
actually
know.
going to do it because they might be doing a batshit one next time.
They might, and we'd also never know if even if they are doing the book, it might not be the same
Right.
character. Like,
Right.
who the
Yeah.
fuck knows what they're gonna do? Or maybe they'll add subplots. We noticed the disc has not come up in like 6 episodes
Yes. Yeah. They like Axe said what it was in a
since
throwaway line, but it hasn't mattered to the plot. The Yerks
the
still have
disc.
it, by the way.
It was the most important thing until they met the person who could explain it to them, and then they just stopped talking about it.
Yeah. I don't.
What the fuck?
I have a suspicion that the like season conclusion will be we have to get the disc back. We haven't talked about it until the season conclusion, but now it's time to actually
Yeah.
go try to get it back.
Maybe it's the chi, because I do know we're
Maybe
getting
it's the
chi.
chi.
I don't know. At least I shouldn't say I know we're getting the chi, because all I know is there's an episode called Eric, but that
Mm,
doesn't really mean anything. Like,
that's
for all I
true.
know, Eric is like just Ethan or something.
Maybe Ethan's a chi. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why he sucks. You want to punch him.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. All right. The reaction. Well, that was our reactions to the reaction.
Wow. How come I didn't think to say that at the beginning?
I'm sure one of us said that in the book episode too. That's also the problem is there's so much like you could spend a long time talking about the nature of the allergy. I'm sure I talked about the fact that we now you can technically create life if you
Yeah.
have this allergy, but we already talked about it. Like that's in the
Yeah.
book and it's like now what we're left with is just this shadow of that.
And for all the outro or intro and outro of this episode about morphing rules, they explore the rules a lot more in the books than they do in the show, which is why like I feel like watching the show, I would not be sitting here like, how do these rules work? I'd be like, I don't know, they don't talk about it. As opposed to the books where it's like, you sure do talk about these rules a lot for how little sense they make.
Right. Who knows? Different approaches. Poor Tobias.
Yeah.
Listeners, we'd love your feedback. What do you think about the Rachel Cassie swap? Which episode do you think Jake and Rachel will finally kiss in? Do you like Star Wars? Send us your feedback, theyerkyboys@gmail.com. Check out our Patreon this week, patreon.com/theyerkyboys. Our special episode, our special Hanukkah episode, because it's coming the first night of Hanukkah, the 26th.
Mm-hmm.
We will be reviewing, I guess, / discussing. Yeah, I'm going to give it a review. I've got a score.
Okay, good.
McDonald's Happy Meals, parentheses, with extra happy.
Uh-huh.
A little gift
Kinda
for you.
exciting.
Oh, man. What a Merry Christmas it will be. Do they ever celebrate a holiday in any Animorphs book? Is there ever like a Christmas book?
I can't think of any.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
It is kind of weird.
What about like Halloween or something? Like, do they ever?
Yeah.
They don't do any of that? Halloween seems like a gimme.
I can't think of any.
That's wild. That's like, if you're making the TV show, you know you got to do a Halloween ep. That's the new content you do.
Right. All right.
They're double feature with new Goosebumps.
Thanks everyone for listening. Tune in next time when we'll be talking about Season 1, Episode 12, The Stranger, in which Rachel might turn into a bear, and also possibly the Elemist on The Yerky Boys.